SOE remained adamant. The communists represented anarchy and chaos. Milhailovíc represented social order and the king. The policy of exclusive support to him should not be challenged. But that autumn there was a shake-up in SOE Cairo. New blood brought new thinking. Colonel Keeble was brought in from the military to toughen up operations. Basil Davidson was put in charge of the Yugoslav section.
It was a very unhappy situation, because there were those who thought that the policy was right and that come hell or high water, we had to stick with the royal government in London and therefore with its Minister of Defense, Milhailovíc in Yugoslavia, whether or not he would fight, and it seemed that he wouldn't. We knew from Bill Hudson that no action was taking place. So I'm sitting at my desk that January day. I was very depressed. The door bursts open. In comes Brigadier Keeble, as usual in his vest, advances to my desk. I stand up. He throws onto the desk slips of paper and says, "This is enemy traffic. It's most secret. I'll give you orders about it in a day or so," and out he goes.
Keeble's previous posting had been in military intelligence. He still had access to intercepted German signals, which, according to the rules of the game, SOE should have been denied. Davidson now went through exactly the same motions that military intelligence had gone through a year earlier, plotting the main areas of enemy concentration and partisan resistance on maps.
We knew broadly where they were. We also knew where some of their headquarters probably were, the location anyway. But how to contact them? We were forbidden to contact them. Now that's January, and there was no way that I knew in which we were going to contact them. I mean, all this information was building up. Keeble clearly had it in his mind to use it in some way. How was it going to be used? That was the great question.
Keeble had a stroke of luck. In January 1943, Churchill passed through Cairo. Somehow, Keeble contrived to meet him and handed him a memo on Yugoslavia.
The memorandum, I think, was very well done. I didn't write it myself, so I'm free to say that. Because it said we should continue to support the forces which owe at least nominal allegiance to the royal government in London, the exile government in London, but we should also seek contact with the partisans who may or may not be communists, we don't know, who are obviously a major force, probably the biggest force in the whole fortress Europe upon which we can rely at this stage. And if we don't do that, it's very clear that either the Russians or the Americans will step in and do it for us. And it will be much better if we keep control of this thing in our own hands.
Churchill agreed, and the timing was fortunate for the partisan lobby in SOE Cairo. Allied fortunes in Africa were changing. After victories in Tunisia, the Allies were poised to re-enter Europe. As the troops celebrated, military staffs were already planning the invasion of Italy. Heavy losses were expected. The value of resistance movements in pinning down enemy troops was recognized for the first time. In a directive to SOE, the chiefs of staff demanded a tuning up of guerrilla warfare in the Balkans. SOE Cairo seized their opportunity. In April, 2 teams of agents, codenamed Fungus and Hoathly, were dropped unannounced into partisan territory to discover whether Tito would accept a mission.